If you're looking to get more cleaning clients more consistently, then today's video is for you. So having worked with hundreds of cleaning companies over the years, I'm going to take you through what I believe are the top 10 marketing channels to win cleaning clients today. Stay to the end and I'll talk about what I believe is the most effective channel. So let's jump straight into it. So first of all, the Facebook groups. So the local Facebook groups are still a really effective way to find clients. So no matter where you're based around the country or around the world, there will be a community of local Facebook groups. The ones that I usually suggest people to target are the local parents groups, the local mums groups in particular, because, being a parent myself, I know one of the most common topics of conversation is getting help, cleaning their home, keeping it tidy. And often what you find is that in these groups, people will often pop up, post something asking for recommendations for cleaning companies. And if you can be in these groups and start getting tagged in these, if you can start replying to these, you will find that you will start to consistently get some inquiries. You'll start to get some direct messages, you'll start to get some traffic, some calls from these groups. So the way that I suggest doing this is that, most of these groups, will have some questions that they ask you before they can allow you to come in. So, for example, a local mums group in Chicago, you'll need to answer why you want to join the group. Are you a local parent? And you need to be upfront and honest. And you can say, I have a local cleaning business. We work with lots of families. My intention isn't to send out sales posts all the time, but when people ask for recommendations for cleaning companies, then I would want to respond. And what you'll find is that, you won't get entry to all of these groups, but for a number of these groups, you will get in. And then once you're in these groups, the way to go about it is to check the group every day to see if there has been any posts, including the keyword cleaner or cleaners or maid service. And when someone posts, you want to respond and say, I run this company, we work with lots of families in the area. And a really effective way that I find of doing it is that you can often put a coupon code in there and say, if you're interested, please check out our website. This is the link, and you can use this coupon code, Facebook20. It'll give you $20 off your first cleaning. And why this is great is that it gives that person the incentive to try you out, but it also allows you to track the leads coming in from your Facebook efforts. So the Facebook groups are really, really important. Secondly is partnerships. So do not underestimate how powerful these can be, because in reality, you only need a small handful of partners bringing you leads every month to really start to see a significant increase in your lead flow. So potential partners are usually ones that I suggest looking at are the complementary services that you provide. So let's say you're a house cleaning business, but you don't do carpet cleaning. You might decide to look at all the carpet cleaning companies in your area that obviously don't provide house cleaning services, and you could contact them and say, introduce yourself, understand that there's probably a high degree of overlap between people using house cleaning and carpet cleaning, and you can propose a referral arrangement with that partner. And you can say, if you promote our house cleaning services to your clients, maybe through an email or a text message, then we can give you, so many dollars for each referral that you send over. So, you could say, Karen's Carpet Cleaning Company, you could say, use the coupon code Karen's20 to get $20 off your first cleaning. The clients would use that when they would book with you, so you could track who is booking through your partner, and you could also count the number of bookings each month, and you can send the referral payment to your partner each month. So this, as I said, not every single partner you'll contact will be up for a referral arrangement, but you don't need many of these. So try to identify local carpet cleaners, window cleaners, it could be dry cleaners, anyone where you think that there is a good degree of overlap with your clients and their clients, and in the same way you can promote their carpet cleaning services to your house cleaning clients. And this two-way arrangement can work really, really well. And again, a really effective way to bring in new clients. So if you're finding the content helpful so far, please like and subscribe. It really, really helps. Let's jump on to point 3. So point 3 is friends and family. So do not underestimate this because, particularly early on in your business, your friends and family will likely be a large driver of new inquiries into your business. So the way that I suggest doing it is to send individual messages or to call, your close friends and family, saying you're looking for more clients. Do they know any friends or family that are looking? Often people will be asking, friends or family for recommendations before they jump onto Google or something. But again, use a coupon code. This can be a really effective way to sort of accelerate this. Let's say you've got a friend, Angela, and you could say, okay, Angela, if you've got friends and family, just feel free to share this code, Angela20. It'll give them $20 off, and we'll give you some, we can give you $20 for each booking as well. So often your friends and family, will be natural cheerleaders for your business. They will, naturally just tell their friends that you're starting up a business or growing a business. But this sort of coupon arrangement, this bonus can sort of accelerate things a bit further as well. So again, do not underestimate friends and family. So 4 is Bark and Thumbtack. So these two websites are what are called pay-per-lead websites. So, as a client looking for house cleaning services, you might go onto Bark and say, okay, I'm looking for a weekly service. This is the size of my property. This is the zip code. And what Bark then does is then they will then sell that lead to multiple cleaning companies that have signed up as a Bark advertiser. And the way that Bark charges for their services, they'll just charge a set dollar amount for each lead. You can see the leads coming in and you might say, okay, actually, this weekly client or this particular zip code is really interesting. I would like to buy that lead. And once you buy that lead, you can then see that person's contact details, their email address, their phone number, and then really it's over to you to try to close that client. So a couple of things on here. It can be really, really effective. You want to try to focus on the recurring leads above the one-time leads because the lifetime value is that much higher. And then speed of response is really important. So don't bother buying leads that are 30 minutes or an hour old. They'll already be contacted by other cleaning companies. So when the lead comes in, straight away buy it, get on the phone. If you can't get through, send a text, send a message, send an email, and you want to follow up with them repeatedly. So the speed of response is really important, and don't forget to follow up multiple times as well until you get a yes or no. So Thumbtack works in a very similar way to Bark. These are what I would suggest would be more attractive platforms than say Angie. So Bark and Thumbtack are proper pay-as-you-go services. So, you're not locked into any contract. With Angie, often they'll get you to try and sign up for a 6 or 12-month arrangement. So I like that flexibility, which is why I tend to suggest looking at Bark and Thumbtack over Angie. So 5 are Meta ads or Facebook ads. So, a lot has been talked about Meta over the last few weeks. Absolutely, the amount of data they have on their users is extremely impressive. So I have seen Meta ads work. It needs to be done in a set way to get results because, if you think about it, if you are scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, which is a Facebook company, you are not really actively in the market for, to book a maid service. So the way you want to do it is to put some sort of offer in front of those people. You might say, get a free carpet cleaning with every standard one-off clean, or sign up for a weekly service and get 50% off your first 3 cleans. Something like that. You need to put an offer in front of these people that gets them to leave their details. You can get their email address, their phone number, and that offer can get sent to them. So the mistake a lot of people make is that they'll say, yeah, great, we're going to put an offer in front of these people, and then they follow up by they call them once or they email them again to try and book the service, and absolutely nothing. So this is where the follow-up is really, really important. We need to be following up by phone, by text message, by voicemail, by email, and we need to be putting them into an automated follow-up sequence so that they get an email every couple of days or every few days, certainly for the next week or 2 weeks, because these people aren't in the market for what you do. So you need to give them a push. So we've got the offer, which has intrigued their interest. So they're showing, first of all, that they're potentially interested in what you do, but you need to get them to act today to actually book service. So often an expiry on that offer or some further money off. You could say if you book by midnight tonight, we'll give you a further $15 off or $20 off. And this can be often what pushes people over the edge. So, following up with these meta ads leads is really, really important. If you're not following up enough, you're not going to be getting leads from it. But I've seen people who do follow it really quickly, do follow up properly, get some decent return on investment there as well. So 6 is flyers. So one of the probably the most old school marketing channel out there. Often one of the first things that new business owners look at, and flyering can still work. Again, similar to meta ads, if you get a flyer through the door from a cleaning company, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be ready to pick up the phone call and book service. A lot of these people will either not be interested in what you do, or maybe they already have a cleaning company and they're happy. So the name of the game with flyering is to make sure that you target the specific neighborhoods properly. So if you have existing clients around your city, I would always focus on doing a flyer drop around your clusters of your clients. Maybe it's the wealthier neighborhoods in your area. And then you can't just flyer that area once and sit back and decide whether it's worked or not. You need to do it multiple times because, as I said, these people aren't necessarily in the market for what you do. Ideally, what you want to do is that when there's a potential client who actually says, okay, now is the time I want to book a cleaning company, rather than jumping on Google and doing research, if they can see that they've you've flyed them a few times, they've put a flyer on their fridge, they'll probably go to you first to get that lead. And that is a really great way to do it. So I tend to say, don't flyer once, you want to fly a minimum of 3 times. You might do it once a month for 3 times or once every couple of months for 3 times, but don't just do it once. And again, numbers is, because the close rate tends to be lower, you can't just simply send out flyers to 100 households and expect to get a good response. It needs to be in the thousands, and if we're getting, say, a 1% response rate, that wouldn't be, that would be a decent amount at the moment. So, you can't be sending out a very low volume of flyers and expect to get many calls. So flyering can still work. Focus on those neighborhoods, the wealthier neighborhoods where you already have clients. Do it multiple times, and then that is a good approach to go with your flyering. So 7 is email marketing. So in today's today, often when people come to your website, usually they will either call you up or they might fill in a form asking for a quote, and maybe there's a bit of back and forth. So often people who are getting in touch with you will often leave you an email, and many people do not sufficiently use their email list as a source of potential clients because as we know, it'd be great if every single person that got in touch would book service, but we know some people go cold or quiet, or some people say I'm going to try another company, or they might say you're too expensive. There's all these reasons why they might actually not go ahead, but you'll still have that those person's contact details. And really a source of great potential clients in the future is by just going back to them in the future. Obviously you don't want to be messaging them every week, by text message, by email. You just get put on spam filters. That is definitely not the way to do it. But certainly, getting in touch with these people every month or every couple of months, either by putting them on like an email newsletter, can work really well, or you might send them a coupon code every couple of months to their cell phone. You really want to think about your email list, these people that haven't converted, as a big database of people just to keep warm. If that person decides to go with another cleaning company, but they have a bad experience, rather than jumping on Google and trying to find another company, they might say, okay, we've seen this cleaning company emailed us. Let's give them a try. Let's give them a call. And as we know, getting people on the phone, getting leads is just that a percentage of those people will end up booking service as well. So email marketing is really important. High-level CRM is a great tool to use for email marketing and automation, but don't just any non-converted leads, don't just forget about them. Use them, recontact them, reinitiate contact in the future, and this will bring further clients into your business for sure. So number 8 is then Google LSA, so local service ads. So this is Google's pay-per-lead platform. So it works in a similar way to Bark and Thumbtack, as I spoke about before. Google will charge you a set dollar amount for every phone call they send you or each message inquiry that gets sent to you. So you can sign up for the Google LSA platform and you can tell them, we're active in these particular neighborhoods in Chicago. We're interested in house cleaning leads. This is our budget. Send us the leads. So we hit that budget. So Google decides what that dollar amount is, and it's driven by the amount of demand and supply. So if there's lots of cleaning companies out there, you'll find that Google is charging you a higher cost per lead. If it's less competitive, it'll be lower. But the reason why I prefer Google local service ads over Bark and Thumbtack is where Bark and Thumbtack will sell that lead to multiple cleaning companies and you're in a race against your competition to get to that person first. With local service ads, it just gets sent to you. So with a Google local service ads call, if you get that person on the phone, answer their questions, give a price that they're happy with, there's no reason why they shouldn't go ahead with you. So you tend to find the close rates on LSA are much higher than Bark and Thumbtack as well. So LSA is still a really effective platform. It's got more expensive over the last year as it's got more competitive, but there are certain things you need to be doing. We need to be making sure our LSA profile is maxed out. We need to make sure that every completed lead gets sent reviews links. We need to be building our reviews. We need to make sure that we're not missing any calls. We need to make sure that any message leads that come in get responded to quickly. These are all things that I see people missing. But if you are doing all these things, it means that your visibility will be that much higher. You'll get more visibility in the LSA results. You'll get more leads and ultimately more clients as well. So number 9 is then Google Ads. So Google Ads is different to Google LSA. This is the ads platform that has been placed with Google for the last 20, 30 years. And this is where you go and set up an account with Google Ads. You say, these are the particular keywords I'm interested in. So maid service Chicago, cleaning companies near me, there's lots of different variants. And if someone searches for one of those keywords, I want my advert to show. So if your ad shows up and someone then clicks on your advert, Google will charge you for each clicked ad. And again, similar to LSA, what that amount, that cost per click is driven by is the amount of competition. So once that person clicks on your ad and then goes to your landing page or your website, it's over to you to try and convert as many of those people to pick up the phone and call you or fill out a quote request as you can. So we often find that running Google Ads and LSA together can work really, really well. Even in today's age, 9 times out of 10 people are still going to Google to search for cleaning companies. So there's a high degree of intent there. So being visible both on LSA and Google Ads can work really well. And with a lot of the clients that we work with, where we're managing these two, we'll take a budget and move the budget between ads and LSA according to what is performing best at the time. So that brings me on to number 10 on what I think is the most effective way to get cleaning clients today, and that's local SEO. So local SEO is getting your company to be ranked or listed as one of the 3 companies in the Google Maps section at the top of page 1. And the reason why this is so important today is that 60 to 70% of all people who search will end up clicking on one of these 3 results. So if someone searched maid service Chicago or house cleaners near me, you'll get a percentage clicking on the ads at the top, and but the majority of people will go to the maps section. The map section, it's more engaging. You can see the ratings and reviews, and particularly as more and more people use mobile for search. You know, the shift from desktop to mobile search is increasing with time. It becomes more and more important that you are visible on those top 3 positions. So local SEO is really what you want to try to build out as the core driver of your leads long term. You'll find that ultimately this is the lowest lead cost channel out there and the highest close rate as well, because people will often see your reviews and any posts and pictures and all those sorts of things before getting in contact. So number 10, local SEO. So in this next video, I'm going to jump into a bit more detail about what local SEO involves, some of the things that you need to do to get up and running and optimized, and ultimately how you can get to become one of those top 3 companies as quickly as possible. So I'll see you on the next one.